The 48th win of the season. Yes, it arrived against the Portland Trail Blazers, who were playing virtually nobody, but Golden State was still able to go out there and get the win. A couple other results didn't fall their way on April 11th, the penultimate games of the NBA season. It all comes down to Sunday for Golden State, who is still fighting for their playoff lives. They have a play-in spot secured, but they're still fighting for their play-in lives. They can no longer be lower than the 7th seed. At worst, they'll be hosting the NBA play-in game, but none of us want that. We'll discuss the current playoff picture, the standings, and all the scenarios that you need to know about what Golden State's matching up with on Sunday and what their potential future could look like. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are hot on our way to 81,000 subs here at Warriors Today. And we always want to provide you guys with the best Warriors content on YouTube. Daily videos about the latest news and rumors surrounding the Dubs, injury updates. We also go live on the channel a ton because we love bringing you guys constant Warriors content. We'll also be live for Sunday's game against the Clippers. So join us then, hit that sub button, and lock us in as your number one spot for Warriors content on YouTube. All right, let's talk about the playoff picture, man. It is definitely something as Golden State currently still remains in the 6th seed after they got a nice lucky bounce on Thursday night when the Grizzlies lost to the Trailblazers. So Golden State at the 6 right now, playing the Lakers at the 3. The Nuggets still match up in that 4-5 spot. And your play-in is back to Grizzlies Timberwolves. However, Memphis is the team out there in front. If we take a closer look at the standings and how everything is separated at this point, you have Golden State with not much wiggle room to really speak about. Like they're in a position where they have to win on Sunday, and this isn't even an updated standings as of yet. Like it still has Minnesota in there at the 6, but you get the gist. Golden State, at the end of the day, needs to win basketball games, and they need to win one basketball game in particular. Yeah, Game 82 against the LA Clippers. Like it's a must-win. It's a playoff game. It's a playoff game at the end of the day because it determines on whether or not you have to play legitimate basketball, early next week, or you get a whole week off of rest. And for a team like Golden State, really top-heavy by 335-year-olds, that's not exactly the position that you want to be in. And I know the Clippers feel the same way. The Clippers have a lot of incentive to play in this game. If they end up losing, there's a position where they'll end up dropping all the way to the 7th seed in the Western Conference. So they still have to avoid the play-in themselves. They're still looking to get their last win of the season and get 50 wins in 23-24. But it's going to be tough. I better hear that Chase Center crowd loud as possibly can be because, they're going to need it. They're going to need it. Like this Warriors team that's filled with not only veteran leadership and championship level experience, but also immense youth on the back end of the rotation as well. Like they're going to need that Chase Center crowd to be in full force. Like the Clippers have a ton of talent. They're super deep. They're a bad matchup for Golden State at the end of the day. They're big, they're long, they're athletic, they can shoot. They play great defense as well. Like Ivica Zubac is just really an unguardable player when it comes to what Golden State provides defensively. So, this is not going to be an easy game whatsoever. And if Golden State were to end up beating the Clippers in this matchup, there would be a 3-way tie because it's not very likely. There's a possibility, but it is not very likely that the Minnesota Timberwolves end up losing to the Utah Jazz, who are trying to position themselves closer to the number 1 overall odds in the draft lottery. Minnesota's got all the reason in the world to play hard in that game, and they're trying to get out of the play-in themselves. If all 3 events occur, the Clippers lose, a.k.a. the Golden State Warriors win, and then Minnesota wins, there ends up being a 3-way tie in the Western Conference. Well, Tim Kawakami, my guy, who's always chopping it up after Warriors games, gave a little bit of insight as to what will go down. He says, in a 3-team tie, which is what it would be if in this scenario, talking about the scenario if Golden State wins and Minnesota wins, the teams are seeded by winning percentage versus the other teams in that group. So if it's LAC, the Clippers, Golden State, and Minnesota, the Timberwolves would have the best win percentage against this crew, then Golden State, then the Clippers. So head-to-head matchups doesn't even matter. If there's 3 teams that are all tied up in the same spot, it would be Minnesota 5, Golden State 6, and the Clippers at 7. Keep in mind, though, if Golden State ends up losing, Well, they're pretty much in the 7th seed, no matter what. Like, they would need a Minnesota loss, and I just don't see that happening against a really, really bad Jazz team. So we're going to need everybody to have all hands on deck. We're going to need all the help in the world. We're going to need your help as well. If you want the Warriors to go out there and beat the Clippers on Sunday and secure themselves a top 6 seed in the postseason, let me know by going down below and hitting that thumbs up icon. We're going to give a little bit of a vibe check to all the Warriors roster, players I think who are going to be in this playoff rotation in just a moment, plus a little bit of a Steph Curry injury update, so stick around. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, and that's Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats, whether it's basketball, baseball, hockey. Like, they got esports, college sports, bowling, darts, golf. The Masters is on. Take advantage of all the deals they have on Prize Picks. And the other deals they have to make it easier for you guys to win up to 1,000 times your money while watching your favorite sports. Like a free $50 when you sign up using our promo code CLNS, like you see in the bottom right of your screen. Also, they have Taco Tuesday where they discount stat projections. Flex Friday where if you lose your lineup, they give it back to you in promo funds up to $20. As for the lineup that I went with for the Warriors game against the Trailblazers, well, it didn't go over so well. But I'm usually pretty solid at this. If you tune into our live streams, you can tell my picks or fade them. Just make sure you go and do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. All right, let's talk about these tweets that came out. A little Steph Curry injury update before we move on with today's show. Originally, Curry in the second quarter had gone into the locker room during a timeout. He was really shaking what seemed to be his right thumb in pain the last couple of minutes. It's bothering him throughout the season. That's unfortunate. You saw him when he came back in the game later on continue to kind of grimace at that thumb that was kind of bothering him on different follow-throughs and shot contests by opponent. Then he said the Warriors are calling Steph Curry questionable to return with the right thumb. A little spoiler alert, he did come back. And he's still in the locker room. Then he comes back onto the Warriors sideline with that right thumb taped up and looks like he will return. And he did. And it was great news for Golden State in that regard. Plus, he did go through some x-rays at some point very shortly after the game, I should say. Steph, according to Slater, the x-rays are negative. So great news for Golden State in that regard. Great news for Golden State that they're not going to lose Curry for any period of time, because if it's any period of time, it'll be for the most important game of the season. That cannot happen. And Curry didn't go crazy tonight against the Trailblazers. Like, he went for a very quiet 14, didn't shoot the ball all that well from the field. But at the end of the day, this is the guy I'm least concerned with on the entire roster for Golden State. I mean, at the end of the day, he is the engine that makes this team go. And the numbers when he's on the floor versus when he's off the floor, like, it is night and day. It makes Jokic's on-off numbers look ridiculous. And we know those are as well. Just everything he provides, the gravity that he brings from opposing defenses. Like, it opens up the whole floor for Golden State to have cutters, one of the best cutting teams in the league. Also, he just can hit any shot on the floor. So you're always, able to get some instant offense when Steph's out there on the floor. I'm the least concerned about him as long as he's not hurt, and I can't wait to see the heights that he reaches when it comes to real postseason basketball. Jimmy has really been kind of getting back to this mold of, let me get to the free throw line. Like, let me generate real points for this offense, and he's done that these last 2 games. Now, Golden State did lose to San Antonio, so is that the end-all, be-all formula? No, but at the end of the day, he did his job, and other players in Golden State's rotation should have picked up the slack in that one. In that game, though, he shot 16 to 17 from the free throw line. In this game, he is 11 of 11 from the free throw line. And in the month of April, he's 57 of 59 from the free throw line. So absolutely lights out so far from Jimmy at the stripe, and he continues to be one of the best, contact drawers in the league. You can call it foul bait, you can call it whatever. Don't jump at Jimmy Butler. He'll get you, and he'll go to the line. The defense and the fast breaks, like everything stems from Jimmy in that regard. And his defensive energy kind of trickles down to the rest of the team and the will to win. You see guys like Steph or Pods or Moody like guarding guys full court, trying to get in the Panther hands and passing lanes. It's been awesome to see the trickle down effect that Jimmy Butler's had. I just hope that we're in for more 24+ point games when it comes time for the postseason. Draymond didn't do much, but as far as what he provides for this team on a nightly basis, I'm not concerned whatsoever. He is the best defender in the NBA. He is the connector on offense that this team needs. He's the engine as far as being a facilitator and a ball handler and somebody who can have the ball in his hands while Steph's running around the court goes. He is the best in the league at that. And the chemistry that those two have is unmatched. Just needs to, hit his open shots when they're given to him. He went 1 for 5 from 3, 1 for 6 from the floor overall. Don't love that, but I'm not too concerned with Draymond too much overall. Pods, on the other hand, these last couple of games have not been great for Brandon Podziemski from the floor. He started this game 2 of 9 from the field. He hit his last 2 shots, 2 transition-ish threes in garbage time in this game. So he really he scored 4 points in the real meat and potatoes of this ball game. Had that stretch where he was awesome. These last 2 games, though, have not been. And if he can pick it up in this Clipper game heading into the postseason, I'm super enthusiastic about what Podziemski can provide as a secondary third scorer on this Warriors roster. Moody, he's getting it back a little bit. You could see a lot of open looks for Moody. He still continues to play excellent defense on opposing guards, so I love that. But at the end of the day, if you're playing as a starter on this team, you're going to need to hit shots. And Moody's going to continue to need to hit shots. And he shot 2 for 5 from 3 tonight. A lot of those opportunities were wide open attempts. Needs to be better than that. And at the end of the day, if his shot's off, I could see him having a short leash in the postseason and Kerr going with some other players who can provide equal defense or and hit their open shots or convert their opportunities when they're given to him. Moody, he needs to be better and more efficient on the offensive end. What's your confidence level in the Warriors at this point? Got a couple more players to roll through, the guys who are coming off the bench. But let me know what your confidence level is. Scale it for me 1 through 10 down in the comment section. I want to hear from Dub Nation on what they're, how they're feeling right now. 10 being your most concerned, 1 being we're chilling, not concerned at all. Golden State might win the title. All right, talking about Kuminga here. It's just not great. I know he's attacking the glass for rebounds more. Finally. As far as being a scorer, the basketball goes, just incredibly inconsistent. Inconsistent at the free throw line as well. Just as far as putting the ball in the cup, he's just not that good at the end of the day. I want to see how many minutes Kuminga played because he didn't play too much in the Spurs game. Ended up only playing 17 minutes tonight. So could that be a trend that we see with Kuminga playing 15 to 20 minutes rather than 25 to 30 in the postseason? I honestly think that's going to be the case. Lineups with him off of the court are substantially more productive across the board than when he's on the floor. It's a sad reality. I wish he could be more impactful for this team, but I think we know what we have with Jonathan Kuminga at this point, and that's not a $35 million a year player. Buddy Hield, he was solid. He was solid in this ball game. Listen, I'm not going to take much away from a ball game where they're playing against the Blazers, who aren't playing anybody. So, take this with a grain of salt. But Buddy's starting to find his stroke a little bit. A couple games with 40% or better from three-point range. I like what I've seen from Buddy. Got to tone down that tunnel vision a little bit and be able to hit the open players on the perimeter for Golden State. But, as far as the source of offense goes, he's one of the best that Golden State has. And sometimes I'm not too proud to say that. Great, GP2, continue to do what you do, man. I don't really care what stat line GP2 puts up, man. He's going to give you excellent effort, excellent defense, be available in the dunker spot, finish around the rim, and you know what? Hit a couple of threes if he's wide open and the opportunity's there. I love what GP2 provides for this team, and it's almost invaluable. I'm so glad that his injury was not as bad as maybe we initially thought, where he missed extended time. But he's back out there on the floor, playing at a super high level, high energy. Love it. Going to need the same thing out of Looney. Continue setting screens the best that you do in the NBA, as well as, just be available as a shot blocker at the rim, somebody who could deter players when driving to the cup and continue to grab rebounds, man. I mean, he had another 5 tonight, and this is a guy who's not even playing 20 minutes a game, man. When he's on the floor, he's securing possessions for Golden State, and that's all you can ask, man. The role players playing their roles at their highest level. So Golden State needs to go out there and win on Sunday For all I just said, Golden State needs to go out there and win on Sunday. Essentially, all they have at this point, because I didn't show you guys this tweet from Slater earlier, the Warriors essentially have 3 paths to the NBA playoffs. They win against the Clippers on Sunday. They are the 6th seed in the Western Conference. A loss would put them in the play-in game, gives them another opportunity against Minnesota or Memphis if that comes down to it and they lose on Sunday. And then if they lose that game again, as Golden State is 0-3 in play-in history, they will have one more opportunity against the Kings or the Mavericks, again at home. 3 home playoff opportunities. Steve Kerr just alluded to it in the post-game press conference. 3 home playoff clinching opportunities. Can Golden State take advantage? That's what we will find out sooner rather than later. It's only a day away. We'll talk about it more on the channel. We'll be live on the channel for Warriors versus Clippers on Sunday, and obviously every postseason game that they get themselves into. So keep us locked in. Hit that big red sub button. We're almost at 81,000 subs here at Warriors today. Join the rocket ship. You're going to want to join. So we'll see you guys on the next one. And as always, for the last time in the regular season, let's go Dubs.